The Fujicast is an independent Loading Zone production.
Come on, Kev. I love to hear all about your adventures. Gibraltar, what was it like?
Yeah, it was really interesting. Have you ever been there?
No. I'm fascinated by as I said before, the idea that to get onto the rock, don't you have to cross the active runway if you're driving in? This is the active runway of the airport.
Yeah, so once you fly in, which is a bit of a hairy fly in, you've got to be a specialised pilot to land there.
Oh, yeah? Oh.
And then you basically turn left out of the airport and walk across the runway that you've just landed on. Mm-hmm. And we walked, we didn't drive, but and then you just walk into town. Yeah, and it's a really lovely place. The weather was great. There's a lot of stuff there in such a small place, but it reminded me a little bit of Tokyo, a little bit like kind of living in a computer game.
Did it? Well,
Ringed by sea and mountain, and you're restricted within that space, and everybody's just a bit different, in a nice way. Most of the people that work there are Spanish.
Oh yeah, I know that.
The kind of native Gibraltarians, of which there are plenty, I don't really know what they do for a living.
My ex used to live there. And, she lived in Spain, but she worked in Gibraltar. So she lived with the Spanish and came across each day and went to work. And said it was a bit quiet. It was like working in a big village. People had an odd sense of humour, she said.
Depends on the time of the year, doesn't it? I mean, it was busy when we were there.
Yeah.
But then it was, it was October, and, I think it probably gets quieter November through to March, but then I guess that's when the weather, it's about 19, 20 degrees at those points. It was 28, 30 degrees when we were there. So it was lovely. And then you just kind of, we just went on a boys' tour, so we just kind of I don't really know what we did.
A lemonade here, a lemonade there.
The Fujicast.
That's the way it works.
It's an interesting place.
Do you? So there were parts of it you don't remember because need I ask?
No, not really.
Was it a bit? Yeah. Was it a bit messy at times?
No, it wasn't. It was quite restricted this year. We're all getting a bit older.
Oh God!
I didn't go up and see the monkeys. They all went up on the scene. They all hired e-bikes and went up and saw the monkeys.
So they went off on e-bikes and went on a little adventure. What did you do?
I went shopping.
Oh God, Kev!
I got Albie a Gibraltar goalkeeper football shirt, which you don't really get anywhere else in the world. So
yeah,
I was happy with that.
Yeah,
and it's cheap there as well. It's tax free, so everything is cheap.
There we go. There's another place you could retire to then, Kev. There we go. What about that? What about Gibraltar?
No, I don't think I could live there.
The Rock. Anyway, welcome to the Fujicast. Here we are. Kev can't hide his enthusiasm for living on Gibraltar, but it's good you're back in one piece, Kev. I was a little bit worried. I thought I was going to get horribly messy. A load of rugby blokes in a reasonably small place.
Judo.
Judo. So it wasn't rugby, was it? A load of judo.
The rugby tours are done and dusted.
Oh, are you not doing those anymore?
No, I don't play rugby anymore. But as Gemma once said after the first judo tour was announced, I thought all that shit had gone with rugby.
Oh, sorry, Gemma. Well, I suppose next. What's it going to be next? The chess tours? Because you like your chess. Not sure that they will be very showbiz.
No.
I don't know. You get quite a few people. You've made quite a few friends playing chess online, haven't you?
Yeah. I have a friend, Jeff. I play with him constantly. Yeah.
Jeff who?
Jeff Petrie.
Oh, Jeff Petrie.
In fact, he's the first question of the Facebook group today.
Is he? Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a second. You and your questions, write them into click@fujicast.co.uk or send through Facebook, as Jeff Petrie has Q Kev.
Indeed. Jeff, who's better than me at chess, says, how and why do you choose the exact aperture that you make an image with? Oftentimes when looking at someone else's work, I'll notice 1/3 or 1/2 aperture stops, like 3.5 or 7.1. I tend to shoot 2.8, 4, 5.6, etc. The full stop.
5.6 if I'm out in nature, just doing my sketchbook pictures, as I call them. Reasonably shallow at weddings, but that's mainly, Kev, because I'm in a dark environment. It's not It's not usually a really light environment. I mean, I got treated recently to a couple of dancing scenes in Orangeries where there was plenty of light, and it was good to be able to shoot at f4 just to be able to get a bit more of what's behind them in. But usually it's a shallow depth of field at moments like that. It's dependent upon light for me, really.
Yeah, and the reason why Jeff's seeing like 1/3 stops is because Fujifilm lenses they do step in 1/3. So if you twist your aperture ring, or more likely people are using the command dial to move between aperture, it will bump between things like 7.1 and similar if you're using a variable aperture zoom lens. However, I'm more of a wide open type person. Most of the time, depending on the light, of course, as you just said, I will shoot in A mode, and the camera will more often or not, depending on how the light is going, go to the wider end of the aperture scale, f2, 2.8, whatever, 3.5, 5.6. So yeah, I only ever really choose an aperture if I need it for a creative reason. There's too much light coming in, or I need a deeper depth of field for a landscape shot or something. But typically I leave it up to the camera to choose that, and it's nearly always pretty much wide open.
Because you're shooting P for professional, aren't you?
P for professional, yeah.
I didn't ask, by the way, have you had a book? Have you got a bookity book this week? You probably won't have done. I mean, when you were on your shopping out in Gibraltar, did for one moment you think, I'll take a book home?
No, but there was a really nice bookshop there, actually. There's quite a few bookshops there, a couple of second-hand bookshops. I didn't really get to go around them. But yeah, no. So, no. Short answer, no.
You ever thought about taking Gemma with you? I mean, she might like these tours more if she was to go along.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely. I said to her, when we're in Spain next year, it's only a couple of hours drive from the place in Spain we stay.
Yeah.
So we were going to go this year, me and Albie, but I couldn't quite figure out the logistics of parking and stuff. So I now know that you basically park in Spain in the Spanish,
and then you walk across.
Border,
yeah,
and then just walk in.
Yeah, easy peasy.
You'd get your passport stamp. There's no passport stamping when you go from Britain to Gibraltar because it's a British overseas territory. But if you were coming from Spain into Gibraltar and you already had a Spanish stamp, then they would stamp it. Not that anybody would be doing any stamping from the end of October anyway, because all of the passport stamps in Europe are going away. But the record of going from UK territory to a Schengen territory would happen.
So the stamps are going away for us outsiders as well, are they?
Yeah, so it's the ESS system. It's starting. I think it starts on 26th
I like
October.
my stamps, Kev.
They'll take your fingerprint.
I don't want the fingerprint. I want just a big in the stamp.
They'll take your fingerprint, and what will happen is that fingerprint will then be attached to how many days you spend in the Schengen area. And I'm assuming all the people who are moaning about digital IDs and all of that kind of stuff will never travel again, because that's exactly what that is. And
what, you mean they won't be off to Benidorm with their flags?
If you don't want a digital ID, then you don't want your fingerprint stamped. And I get it. I understand the arguments both ways, but you can't have your digital ID buttered on one side and not on the other. I do understand the valid reasons people don't like it, though.
Come on, Doris, we're going to Canvey Island. We're not going to Benidorm this year.
Yeah, so that's all happening. But it's a shame. I mean, my passport is up now. I've got to get it renewed.
Yeah, I've got to get mine, yeah.
It's got a lot of stamps on it.
Yeah.
You'll still get stamps, of course, outside of the Schengen area. But for now, it's fingerprints, and then they'll tell you exactly how many days allocation you've got left in your 90 days in 180.
Can't I ask the nice man or the lady, go on, give us a stamp. Have you got one behind? You must have one just underneath there. Go on.
I think ultimately what will happen, it will be like the digital gates at the airports, where you just put your thumb in and then the gate will open.
I always have a mild panic with those, Kev, because I always think, well, what way do I put? I've done it 100 times, but do I put the passport that way, or is it this way, or is it and that? And then if you get it wrong, it doesn't open. You just look like an unseasoned traveller.
Yeah, you're just stuck in there like a sheep that needs to be sheared with nowhere to go.
We got another one. Don't let this one through. I'm told that they can control the gates. Keep him there a little bit longer. He's looking very embarrassed. Kevin Fitzsimmons. Hello, gents. I'm considering purchasing the new Fujifilm GFX 100 RF. I'm retired and my wife and I are finally able to travel to beautiful places. We generally plan our vacations around the outdoors, mountains and so other, because we like to hike. So size of camera is key. Right, can I just tell you to go and get an X100 VI then? The RF, though, seems to be the perfect travel camera. My concern is being able to use my 5-year-old MacBook and a 6-year-old iMac to work on the 100 megapixel files. Oh, I wouldn't do massive numbers of editing, but would download the JPEGs and pick the individual images to work on in RAW. I have plenty of storage space on both and 8 gig of RAM. It'd be pretty basic editing, as I'm a realist and not into compositing or heavy manipulation. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, you'll be fine. The GFX 100 RF, yeah, it's bigger than the X100 VI, but not a huge amount. It's taller. If you want your best possible quality and you want something that's carryable, then that's the one to go for, and you've got the budget for it, of course. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad choice. Sling a strap around it. I mean, the brief period of time I had it, it fitted in my coat pocket. It wouldn't go in my jeans pocket like the X70 or something, but it did go in my kind of duffel coat. So yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's too big, although obviously you might want to check. It's kind of heavy, but again, not too heavy. But if you put a strap around it, that will be mitigated. File sizes, yeah, they're going to be big, but by the sounds of it, I don't think you'll have too much of a problem. My first thought was storage, but he said that he's got enough storage, so that's fine. Tick that off the box. And then the editing, yeah, I mean, it depends. Well, if you're using Lightroom, Lightroom, the bottleneck is importing into Lightroom usually, and then I would just suggest you create smart previews upon import, and then edit off the smart previews. That'll be a lot quicker. And then just when you get back home, you can render out the big exports and stuff like that.
Blimey, your namesake was a pro for almost 40 years.
My namesake?
Well, Kevin. I mean, I know he's a Fitzsimmons, but Kevin.
Oh, sorry, I see, yes.
And he was freelancing, stay with us, freelancing for New York Times. Business Week magazine, used Nikon or Nikon in your language, Kevin. Canon, Leica, Hasselblad, uses now an X-T4, X Pro 2, X100F for personal work, blah, 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 blah. He has a collection, Kev.
Good, yeah. Well, it's nice to see somebody who's had a full career as what sounds like a photojournalist and retiring out of it. So well done, yeah.
Well, he was also head photographer at the Ohio State University, so that means that he was teaching inquiring minds by the looks of it as well. Right, Facebook, yours.
Okay, so this one is Mike Wotton. Question for you. Using the electronic zoom in my X-T50, does the quality change compared to zooming in using Lightroom? So is it better to use electronic zoom or zoom in Lightroom? They're
both forms of... you're both taking away pixels here, actually, Kev. What's more destructive?
I think they're the same. I think they're both basically digitally cropping.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's any difference. My little brain is trying to go backwards and think if I've ever come across a difference or a mention of a difference. I don't. So I don't think there's any difference. It's essentially cropping inside software or inside the camera. You will obviously, the overall quality of the image will be not so much lower because you're cropping in. It's different if you were just, lowering the quality of the image file, maybe going from fine JPEG to medium JPEG.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be pretty much similar.
That's a really good quandary, that. I wonder if it'd be slightly better because it's coming out of something like Lightroom that can deal with the crop in a slightly different technical way.
You'll be able to edit it better in Lightroom, obviously.
Yeah. But
if you're taking a RAW file and, you're going to be able to apply sharpening and all that kind of stuff in Lightroom.
Yeah.
Whereas cropping inside the camera, you're going to be limited on what you can do. But yeah, I don't think generally, I think it would be the same results.
Yeah. It's a good question, that one.
It is a good question.
Answers on a postcard. Maybe Neale Ford would, because he was a bit angry with you last time, by the way, Kev.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. Well, I wouldn't say angry because he doesn't. I've never seen him angry, but I think he was. Do you mind me saying this, Neale? He's not here to answer. But we were talking about ChatGPT. Did we do that on the pop-up or did we do that on the show? No, it was on the show, wasn't it? and you what did you likened ChatGPT. I mentioned Roy Lichtenstein, the artist, and the fact that I'd asked Chat to make me a cartoon thumbnail for something based on Roy, and I said, but nobody had asked Roy, and you said something along the lines of, he said that she said, that isn't that a bit like going to your art teacher and saying, could you teach me to paint like Roy Lichtenstein?
Yeah.
And I know that there's all sorts of ethics involved in LLMs, learning from the great masters, etc. And some would say stealing from the great masters, but there was a bit of a fine line there. I think Neale was twitching.
I can see him twitching. I stand by my comment, but yes. Okay.
Right, Igor, let's move on. Igor Baranov, that's a very good name, Kev. I can imagine Igor Baranov lives in a big castle in Bavaria or something. What do you think? Hope you're both well. I have another question. Thank you for answering the previous ones. Oh, that's a pleasure, Igor. I keep most of the pictures from photo walks to myself. I share some on Flickr and Photo with an F. Less and less on Instagram. Some of those photographs are often of exteriors of shops and restaurants and cafes and petrol stations, and stuff like that. I recently began to add those to the corresponding business pages on Google Maps. It feels good. Oh, don't talk to me about Google Maps. Still haven't got my one sorted. I don't. It's just stuck in Google sphere somewhere. It feels good to post somewhere where they're actually useful for others and can have a positive impact on the local businesses. See? Charitable, Igor. I like that. Would you know if there are any other outlets for our images beside Google Maps photos? Igor, who does not live in Bavaria, in a huge castle, guess where he lives?
Slough.
No, not Slough. Close to Slough, though.
Maidenhead.
Australia.
Yeah,
So,
there we go.
I don't think there's anything similar to Google Maps that works in that what you might call altruistic sense, because this is altruism, isn't it? Really, it's the definition of it. With Igor saying, "I'm making pictures and helping other people. I'm not getting anything back from it, but the satisfaction that I'm helping other people with my pictures." So I don't think anything else like Google Maps exists in that way, or is there a glaringly obvious one I'm missing?
Not that I'm aware of. In terms of obviously showcasing images, you've got your usual social media platforms, but yeah, in terms of attaching it to the property and the coffee shop or whatever it is, then yeah, that's really the only thing I know of. And it's not really Google Maps, is it? It's Google Business. Google Business profiles. You can.
Although isn't the part of it called Maps?
I don't know. Not really.
Is it not? Okay.
You don't. I've never seen somebody else's photo appear on Google Maps. Put it that way.
Right.
I've only ever seen a map.
Right.
But if you type into Google, I don't know, Ocean Harbour, Gibraltar bars.
Okay,
they will all pop up, and people's photos of.
I'm going to do it now. Ocean. Is this where you spend most of your time? Ocean Harbour. What was it called? Ocean Harbour.
Ocean Harbour. Oh, it's an area. So Ocean Harbour bars, Gibraltar. Put that in.
Bars.
You'll probably see lots of different photos of people at different bars and various things like that.
Okay, let's have a look at this and click images. Obviously. It's quite a large area, isn't it? There's the obligatory Irish O'Reilly's. Did you go in there?
Yeah, that's the biggest place.
Is it?
It was great.
Oh God! Look, there you are. Somebody's uploaded a. Oh, Kev, you look in a proper state.
We'd settled in to watch the football on Sunday afternoon. Saturday afternoon.
You're so settled in. You've like reclined in your chair to it. Why's your head tipped back? What are they doing?
They had an Oktoberfest theme to it. And for some reason, at 3:00, just before the Arsenal West Ham game was about to kick off, just as the players were all walking out, this Megadeth tribute band came on, stood in front of the screen and played screechy stuff.
Oh, I don't want Megadeth on when I'm watching Arsenal West Ham.
So we left and we went to the Ivy, which is just around the corner, which is not the Ivy that you might think it is. It's just another pub.
Did you go to El Faro's?
Yeah, we did go there, actually. We went there for our cocktails evenings.
You went there. What kind of boys thing are you on now? We
Oh,
went
lovely.
for our
That was-
cocktails in the evening before we had supper.
It was 2-for-1 cocktails all day, every day.
Sure it
and as
was.
I tried to point out to the bloke that run it, well, then that's not 2-for-1, is it? That's just your price.
And what did he say? Get out.
He
Sling
just
your
kind
up
of
with your
winked-
mathematics.
Kind of winked at me.
Did he? Did you go to the ocean restaurant, which has a big shark in the?
No.
It's like in a pseudo castle, and it has a shark and an anchor. It looks very classy.
I don't remember. I don't recall a shark. No.
Well, you might have been there, but you just don't remember. O'Reilly's doing nice fish and chips by the looks of it. There we are. Job done. Anyway, Facebook, your turn. I can't believe you're
Will
in that.
Simmons. This is a question from quite a while back. So I'm digging into the archives. Will Simmons says, in the guitar world, vintage reissues and relict models are both controversial and highly sought after. Brands like Fender even charge a premium to deliberately age a guitar, cracking the lacquer, chipping finishes, and aging metal hardware to mimic the patina of instruments from the 50s and 60s. It got me thinking, could we ever see this trend catch on with cameras? Black paint Leicas with beautiful brassing are already highly desirable. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think Leica already do something similar. And the Nikon ZF's brass top plate and dials are designed to age gracefully. So, yeah, I don't know. I honestly thought that Leica already did a patinaed type of camera, very expensive. I might be wrong, but maybe it's just meant to be brass that's meant to age gracefully, as he quite rightly says. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he then goes on to say, maybe a replica of Don McCullen's bullet-scarred Nikon F camera. So, I don't know, 6 of one, half dozen the other, that, isn't it? Some people like that kind of thing. Some people don't. Yeah, I can't see camera makers putting too much time and effort into that.
It'd be a very small market, wouldn't it? I can't imagine.
I would have thought so.
Well, what they could do, if anybody wants that, see, here's another business you could have, Kev. Just send your cameras to Kev for a couple of weeks. He'll shove them in his bag with no dividers. You'll get a patina, no probs at all within a couple of weeks. It'll be an authentic one with Kev walking around London with everything bashing against each other. Job done, sorted, send me £99.50.
Yeah, I don't. So the short answer is no. I can't see it happening. I can't see. There's plenty more things camera manufacturers could be doing too. But then saying that, why would Fender do it? They can't sell too many of those things. So maybe there is a market for it. Who knows?
A Fender guitar, you'd know more than me on this one, must be really, really expensive.
Well, some of them are, some of them aren't. You could get a Fender guitar for 150 quid.
Can you?
Entry level, yeah. But, you can also spend a lot of money on them.
What's the most expensive Fender guitar ever sold?
I don't know, but I would imagine it would be somebody's guitar that used to belong to somebody.
I'm going to look it up now. Just going to lose the picture of you out in O'Reilly's. Ever sold. I'm going to guess 500,000. Oh, my word.
No, I'd say more than that.
David Gilmour's iconic black Strat sold for $4 million. $4 million at a 2019 charity auction.
He was best man at a wedding I photographed once.
What?
David Gilmour.
Was he?
Yep.
Oh, actually, Kurt Cobain Smells Like Teen Spirit Fender Mustang fetched $4.5 million. But I'm impressed that David Gilmour was... Did you have a chat with him?
Not really. Bit. Not a lot, but, kind of hello, that kind of thing.
Yeah. God, the showbiz weddings do you go to, Kev? Eh?
They're always the best man or something, though, rather than the main event.
Yeah, but that's brilliant because you want them to do... They're going to make a speech, aren't they?
True, yeah.
Eh? Yeah. MJ Callan, hi gents. Not a question, but a follow-up on Lars's question about manual focus and character lenses on his XE4, which you answered last month. I use old Minolta lenses on my Fujifilm cameras with an adapter made by Earth. URTH, that is. I've just bought some black mist filters from Earth. I can confirm that focus peaking does work, contrary to what Kev suspected. So there we go, Kev. The focus distance scale, however, which Lars asked about, doesn't. The focus scale should work on the XE4 using the Voigtlander lenses, but I'm not sure if I'd say that these lenses have a lot of character. Besides being manual focus lenses, they're almost as clinically sharp as Fujinon lenses. Oh, he's got some tips. Tips for using the XE4 in manual focus. Stand by, strap yourself in, Kev. Unlike the XT series, the XE4 doesn't have a dual display mode, and I find focus peaking too intrusive. Who's been out in O'Reilly's when composing my shot? My tip is to use the Prism MF Assist together with Focus Check to zoom into the focus area before you take the shot. God, won't the shot have gone by then, Kev? Now, setting Focus Check to on in the shooting menu will not work with vintage lenses, as the camera doesn't know when you're turning the focus ring due to the missing communication between the lens and the camera. Are you keeping up with this, Kev?
Yeah, I am. And actually, he's right. Yeah, he's definitely corrected me properly.
So you can assign the Focus Check function to the function button on the top of the XE4 next to the shutter button, for example. That way you can press the function button, that's FN, isn't it, button, once to zoom in to the focus area and again to zoom back out to the normal view before you take your shot. Keep up the good work. Cheers from the Netherlands. That's MJ Callan.
Good answer.
I'm going to put that in the answered folder just there. Facebook, Kev.
Facebook. Keith Martin says, hello chaps, just listened to the latest show. Thanks again for all your work. Neale mentioned his love of the work of Roy Lichtenstein.
Oh, yes.
How many times have we mentioned him in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I know.
Are there any non-photo based artists whose work inspires you? So I read that as painters, sketchers, that kind of thing, but I suppose it could also be musicians, could also be writers. Don't know. But
I like Bridget Riley, but I don't know if that inspires my photography. It'd be a very strange photograph if it did. I think there's a bit of a tie-up between music. Well, there's a big tie-up between music and photography. I do use music to inspire me when I'm editing. Definitely, I wrote something the other day for a reflections piece, which I can't remember whether it's to come yet or it's been and gone. But it was about music in the minor key and how musicians, how composers cleverly use music in the minor key to inspire or to drive your feeling. And the example I gave was I think one of the original films I saw, which I couldn't quite work out as an 11-year-old why I was quite so upset, was Watership Down. Did you see Watership Down?
yeah.
So the original one, yeah?
Yeah.
So you'd have been even younger, I think. Yes, you would have been.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure I saw it when it came out, but I have seen it.
Don't say it like that. But when I saw it in the cinema with my mum and dad, I remember feeling distinctly very sad. I mean, I know there were rabbits that were meeting their maker, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil it for you, but at the same time...
I don't think there's anybody on the planet who doesn't know what happens in Watership Down.
Well, just in case. But I think it was the music. So, yeah, I'm trying to think who did the music now for Watership Down, who composed it. I know that's a kind of very windy answer to your question. Bridget Riley. Let's just go with Bridget.
Mine's Morph. Remember him? Little.
No, not the plasticine
character. Yeah,
no, you're being a
smiley face.
You're being silly now.
I loved it. He's great. You know, Tony Hart was absolutely brilliant. I used to try and make all of those things, and I was absolutely useless at it.
Did you ever send a picture in to Vision On? Because
no,
he did that as well, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I didn't. Sadly, no longer with us. But I think from a kind of painterly point of view, the person that I've studied, well, I wouldn't say studied, but the person whose work attracted me the most was is Caravaggio.
Oh,
because it's very much a case of light and shadow in most of his work, and as a painter, he managed to get the light perfect and the shadows and the highlights perfect in almost every scene. Every painting he did, he got a great understanding of shadows and highlights. So I think probably Caravaggio. Not that I would say I was a connoisseur. Yeah, I just like looking at his pictures. I like studying the way that the light is falling on. I mean, some of his pictures are pretty brutal, of course.
Yeah,
people's heads being cut off and stuff. But some of them aren't.
It's really obvious, and I was wondering whether to even mention this, but I like Mark Rothko, and I know it seems like anybody who doesn't know anything about art would say, I like Mark Rothko, because I like that idea, the sort of space, the sort of negative space of Mark Rothko's colour slabs, if I can use that phrase, but it's I find his work. I wouldn't say it inspires my photography, and I wouldn't say just because Mark Rothko does those huge, large areas of space of colour that informs my use of negative space in photographs. But I like his work. Took my mother-in-law to this is going back a few years, and I knew she'd say it. I knew both her and father-in-law would say this the moment they went into the Mark Rothko part of the exhibit of the exhibition, or the building at Tate Modern. And the first thing they said was, "Oh, they're still finishing the painting in here." I knew it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I know what you mean. I know what they mean. Well, I absolutely admire people who can do that kind of stuff, because I couldn't do it in any way. I can't even draw a straight line. But yeah, I can see he's Marmite a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, they came out saying more about the light switch than his than his pictures. Right, last question of the show. Mark Adams. Oh, we might have had this one. If we've had it, can we just go through with it? Because I don't have many in the folder, Kev.
Yeah.
He's bought an Olympus OM1 Mark II and a 300mm wildlife FF equivalent 600mm wildlife lens. It's a bit of a guilty secret. It has a PASM dial. Yeah, we have done this one because he didn't think it would suit you, Kev, but I should be okay with it.
Yep.
Fujifilm have brought out a 500mm prime lens for wildlife. Have either of you tried it? No was the answer then. Do you want... I tell you what, I feel like we're shortchanging the audience now.
No, but I can add to that
Can you? Okay.
There were people that chimed in on the Facebook group. So there is some people who have used it who've chimed in. So yeah, there is information out there. But yes, we did answer it on here very shortly.
Did we also, because this is in a thread of a couple of emails. Did we do the one from our friend Gary Williams? Gary Williams, who has the parking space for Arsenal. Hi, Kev.
I'm not sure he likes you saying that. I don't recall a recent question from Gary.
He wouldn't mind. Why would he not like that? Is he worried that people might be queuing up to get parking space at his joint? Hello, dear Kev and Neale. He might not be calling me dear anymore.
No.
I have a question. I notice a lot of the photos I take at weddings in low light seem a bit muddy and lackluster. Gary, not your pictures, no. Once in Lightroom, I usually run the NR, noise reduction, enhancement on anything over ISO 3200, and that makes a great difference. When I see work of other wedding photographers using full frame, they seem much better, sharper, crisper, more vibrant. Am I seeing the results of my limitations or the cameras? Should I be doing something different? I love my Fuji gear, and I can't bear the thought of changing systems, but I would like more vibrant images in low light. Controversial statements at the end of the show, Kev.
I think it was true to say, in the early days that there was a noticeable difference between full frame and APS-C sensors of any ilk in terms of low light performance, but I don't think that's the case these days. There might be a mathematical difference, but not a lot, especially with the backlit sensors and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think it's just about exposure generally, isn't it? I've always, and Gary knows this because I spoke to him many times about it. I use spot metering almost all the time, let the camera take the strain most of the time, and that seems to be fine. I don't, if I think back to when I was shooting weddings, extremely rarely, even at kind of really weird dark wedding venues, would I be going super high on exposure. But that's mostly because I'm specifically metering for the light point that I want, so it keeps it down. So yeah, I mean, I can't answer the question about would having a full frame camera be better, because I don't have a full frame camera. I can tell you that I don't notice a difference between my GFX and my APS-C cameras in that regards. So my brain is saying that no, that's not a thing these days. But maybe I'll be proved wrong. So yeah, I just think it's about exposure, and and then of course post-production. Yeah. Some people will spend a lot more time editing their images, giving them a bit of pop, brushing on the people, kind of making the image, I don't know what the word is, cleaner later in post-production.
Cleaner, yeah. Betterer.
Yeah, more betterer.
More betterer.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to go, Kev, because I have while I was away, both the washing machine and the dishwasher both stopped working. It's been a really difficult couple of weeks.
Maybe they were missing you.
Well, one of them flooded all over the floor.
Tears. That was tears.
Do you know what? I got the blame for that, Kev.
Even if you weren't there.
How did I get the blame for that? I also had a really funny dream last night, Kev, which I want to leave you with. It involved you.
Ooh.
Yeah. You had started up your wedding business again, but you'd opened the shop that I used to have in the town.
Oh, blimey.
And I said, Kev, you can't do that because I'm having a tough time as it is at the moment trying to get bookings. And now you've opened up a shop that was the number one marketing tool for me when I was a wedding photographer. And you said, don't care. and you actually, I can't believe you did this, but you shut the door in my face.
Was it working? Was I getting loads of bookings?
I've no idea. But you shut the door in my face so I couldn't ask you. What does that dream mean, Kev?
I don't know. I'm going though.
Would you ever become a wedding photographer again?
Never say never. I definitely think I'll be buying or opening your shop up. Though.
No, I don't.
Rest easily about that. I don't even know where it was.
Well, it's a tattoo parlour now.
Oh, there you go.
So, or maybe you could do both. You could do tattoos and photography. There we go. Because you like a tattoo. Right,
me and my straight line drawing. I'd be brilliant at that.
Yes, there'd be very special tattoos.
Be a picture of Morph.
If you'd like to send a question in, click at fujicast.co.uk, or you can send via Facebook. How do you do that, Kev?
Go to Facebook and search for the Fujicast Facebook group. Join the group. If you're not in the group, at the top there's a big orange post that says Fujicast questions for the show 2025. I'm starting to think about changing that to 2026 soon. It's not far, is it? It's only about 72 days away or something. And pop your question there and we will get to it. Well, yes.
At some stage. See you soon, Kev. Bye.
The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production. Email the show with your questions and words of wisdom to click@fujicast.co.uk. Email any complaints and political nonsense to our wives, who will deal with your comments in their own good time and in their own good way.